Roundtable. I'm Ed Codi, and welcome our guest, Slippery Rock University head football coach Shawn Lutz. And Coach, start today in our first minute, the tragic loss of women's basketball coach, your good friend. I always enjoyed talking to him when I come up to football practice, Bobby McCraw.
Yeah, it was definitely a blow to people that knew Bobby, the community, the university, his girls' basketball team, and we're just going through the grieving process. Went to the viewing last week, and it's just really tough. He was just a positive influence. What he did before basketball with the military and being a police officer. Just lost a very good friend. He's going to be definitely missed, and we're going to do something on the back of our helmets to represent his name. But it's a tragic loss, and he has a young son, so just feel sorry for the family.
No matter who you hire, you can't replace a guy like that.
No, he's a legend. You know him real well,
yes,
and I know your
nice
buddies
grin.
do as well.
Yeah.
It's just tragic blow. So,
well,
thank
Coach, let's take a look. This is your seventh season coming up at the Rock. Actually, six because 2019 canceled because of COVID.
That's right,
So,
man.
But what a great record, 48-14, national playoffs, a couple of PSAC titles. 2018, a school record, 13-1, just great. And I looked last year, 2021, you were 9-3. When I look at the stats, I think this should have been. Anyone looked at it not knowing the record would say this team was 12-0. You averaged 478 yards a game on offense. You only gave up 290 on defense. You averaged over 38 points a game. You only gave up 20, and that was abrogated by the 48 to IUP. I was at that game. You had three receivers over 55 receptions each, and the Henry Litwin All-American going to the Chicago Bears. You had two quarterbacks threw 41 touchdown passes. How are you not 12-0?
I know that's the mystery question. Great question. I can answer that. Towards the end of the season, injuries. We against Cal, who came in to our place nationally ranked. I think they were third in the country. We had two defensive backs tear their ACL. Our running back tore his ACL.
Smith.
Yes. We had a lot of injury problems. The Kutztown PSAC championship game, we lost Jermaine Wynn. And in the first round against Notre Dame in the national playoffs, in the first quarter, we lost Henry Litwin. We lost 8 starters after our playoff game to injury. So we got to stay healthy. And thanks for saying that stuff. Injuries are the key. Can't lose key people.
And your running game wasn't where you wanted it to be, 133 yards a game. I know you struggled with the running game when I was at the IUP game. What have you done to try to rectify that coming in this year?
Great question. Just develop our guys. If you want to go far, okay, and I don't care what level of football, you're only going to go as far as your offensive line and defensive line take you. I still think at the end of the day, because this is fast break basketball at its best, okay, the game is still at some point won in the trenches. And the other thing, we did a great job because we graduated 16 seniors, transfer portal. You're going to see a totally different team. We graduated 16 seniors.
I know you were hit hard by graduation.
Yeah, we're never going to have three receivers like that at all, but we're going to add probably 25 guys on our football team that you haven't seen from, honestly, the transfer portal.
So Jermaine Wynn, he graduated too?
Yeah, he graduated too.
And Sweeting?
And
all three you lost?
All three of them.
So you lost about 180 receptions right there.
Yeah, but the nice thing about it, and we also, you haven't brought this up, and you've seen all those offensive numbers. We lost our offensive coordinator. You see how well our OCs have done in the past.
Yes.
He went to East Tennessee State University. So Adam Neugenbauer left, and we brought a guy by the name of Drew Moulton in, who was the analyst at IU of the Big Ten. And he played football at Northwestern. So we have someone different running the show as the offensive coordinator. We're still going to play fast.
And speaking of offensive coordinators, Phil Longo, of course, the offensive coordinator, coached the Rockies at North Carolina.
Yeah, how about that?
What a great job he's
Al
done
Washington
there.
used to coach for us, is now the D-line coach at Notre Dame.
Yeah,
So we've had some great people, been very fortunate, Coach. We appreciate your support. But we do not, in our program, we don't want to ever rebuild. We're going to reload, and we're going to bring these guys together. So camp is very crucial for us.
But tell me about your quarterback situations. Last year, you had a tandem there. I know a lot of coaches don't like to do that. Andrew Kester, 2,300 yards, 23 touchdown passes, 8 interceptions. And then Noah Grover, 1,760 yards. He threw 18 touchdown passes and 9 interceptions. So what's the quarterback situation look like this
Yeah,
year?
and then Noah Grover, when he got the job, broke a school record against Gannon and threw 7 touchdown passes in one game. So that was his second game as a starter. Andrew's graduated. Noah's going to be our guy. He's a engineering major with a 4.0 GPA, very, very smart. And behind him is Braden Long. He's a young man that we got out east, okay, and he redshirted this past year, and he could be really good. So we're really comfortable with Noah as our returning starter and Braden backing him up.
Well, let's look at 2022. This is the first time in years you've not been ranked preseason. You have a September 3rd opener with Wayne State. For third straight year you've opened with them. Then you go on the road to Westchester, 2 tough games.
Yeah.
And then I see October the 1st, you're at arch rival, number 21 ranked IUP. They have a transfer quarterback in Mark Sexton and 16 returning starters. Tell me about IUP.
Man, these stats, you're getting me nervous right now, Coach, right there. But, yeah, Wayne State's always pretty good. At one point 8 years ago, they were in a national championship game. They're fully funded, in the league with Ashland and some of those schools are coming to our house finally. We're excited about that. And Westchester at Westchester. So we're going to really know the first 2 weeks what type of team we have. And then we go on the road to IUP and Cal. Not being nationally ranked, that adds a little more fuel to the fire, because – some of these schools are ranked right now that we probably had better records, better seasons than they did, but that's okay. You still play it on the field, and we expect always to win our conference and get into the national playoffs and compete for a national championship. I'm not trying to be cocky about that. That's just the expectations in our program. Our guys understand that. They're going to give us everything we got. We're really excited. We just got to get a lot of these unknowns together in camp to develop that team chemistry, and I think we're going to have enough talent on the field.
Now you go to Cal, October 22nd. You beat them last year 38-26, but they got practically the entire defense back. They're considered to be one of the better defensive teams. I don't know much about them offensively.
Well, how about that? You lose one game in the regular season, Cal did, and they don't go to the national playoffs. We knocked them out.
Because they beat IUP.
They beat IUP, but they don't go because we beat them head to head. Yeah, it's going to be a tough one right there. We've had our fortune with Cal. We were 3-0 against them in the last 3 years, and then the IUP game, that's our homecoming game. So wouldn't it be great to go there and beat them on homecoming? It is really a tough schedule, but we're going to be ready to go. I'll know a lot more when we get out of camp. I'm not just saying that, like the coaches say that all the time. We have a lot of unknowns that we just got to find out where they're going to be.
Coach, total scholarships, where are you? Is it 53 that you have total players on scholarship, or you're limited to?
We're limited. National limit is 36 full rides at Division
full
II
rides.
level. Yeah, 1AA 65, Division I's 85.
Right.
So we have 36, and what we fundraise, we're about at 21.
Okay, so you have some partials too.
Yeah,
right?
we have some partials. Some guys get full scholarship. It's just how you break up the money for your football team.
But IUP and Cal,
they have more money than we do.
They're at the maximum.
Not the max.
They're
the
close.
Gannon, Seton Hill, and the Merciers, because they're private schools, they're at pretty close to the max. But the IUPs and the Cals are a little bit further down. But we have less than them, I'll say.
Yeah, I hear you. So much has been mentioned here in our final minute about the transfer portal that you alluded to, and then, of course, the impact of names, image, and likeness. I don't know how that impacts down with you guys. The turmoil and the changing landscape in college football. I was wondering, it'd be nice some of that money trickled down to you guys. So what's your take? What's going on with the transfer portal in terms of the PSAC and Slippery Rock?
Overall, with the transfer portal, I'm going to make it a positive. Everybody's it's a negative. It's the way we're at with football right now. No one wants to be patient and get, and really develop a program because the emphasis is put on winning so much right now. And for us personally, we're going to have the balance. We're going to still have good high school kids, but we did get in the transfer portal and get some really good players.
And they don't have to sit out of here.
They don't have to sit out of here.
See, that happened to me. I transferred from Kent State to the Rock. I lost a year because it was a stupid rule where coaches, they could leave, go wherever they want. They don't have to sit out.
Yeah, and the pain with the image and likeliness, it hasn't hit us yet. But I just saw Texas Tech. There's an oil guy that is giving every player on the team, every player, $25,000. 85 scholarship players and 10 walk-ons. $25K he just committed to under that.
Well,
I would be pretty good if I never played it down. I was a walk-on and get $25K in my pocket.
Well,
it's
pretty
good
going
gig.
on in Texas. Bjorn Robinson got a Lamborghini, an orange one. The offensive line got a $150,000 deal from Pancake Factory, $50,000 each player, and they're getting orange Chevy trucks with the Texas Longhorn logo on it. That's where it is. It's not changing or going back.
No, it's not. You know what? But we're to talk about this stuff and everything like this. It's just a joy. It's an honor, to be a head coach, and I'm just excited about our football season.
Hey, Coach, thanks for coming down here and joining us. Good luck to the Rock this year. Have another great year.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate your support.
You're welcome. I'll be right back with Ellen George. I am back, joined to my right by the Swami, George Abraham, to my left, the Tiger, Albert Campman. Guys, great to have Shawn Lutz on, entering his 7th year as head coach of the Rock. He's 48-14.
He upped the ante, I'll tell you that. Expectations are high every year at Slip Rock. He has to meet them, and talking to Eddie beforehand here, the schedule's big.
Big.
The schedule's big.
They were 9-3 last year and disappointed. That's where they've gotten.
Absolutely. That's exactly right. And the way that shakes out, they either have both those who at home or both on the road. They have both on the road.
And this is about the program. Their one-time offensive coordinator, Phil Longo, he's now the offensive coordinator at North Carolina. Last year's offensive coordinator is now at East Tennessee State. So that just tells you everything about how the program progresses.
Longo for not scoring a
You know what I'll say?
Yeah.
If Coach was here, I'd say to you, if I got a chance to see him, when you get your defensive coordinator hired, that's when Slip Rock's hit it big.
Yeah.
Because they're such an offensive juggernaut.
Yeah.
But they're not a defensive juggernaut.
Well, let me say that what's surprising, last year they gave up 20 points a game, but 48 in the one game to IUP. So 20 points a game this day and age in defense is pretty good.
Not today.
So I guess they're better than I think they are. Okay.
Yeah, better.
Okay.
Hey, let's go to Spotlight.
Yeah, it's the
You
way
hold
they
someone
play
to
off,
20.
and
It's
how
pretty
they
good.
play
Oh,
offense.
yeah, up and down.
They're not running ground chuck.
No.
Spotlight honors former Butler swimming star David Bocci, now at Clarion University. He has been named the PSAC Men's Swimming Freshman of the Year. And 1975 Butler grad and former defensive end Pete Tulare, a 34-year Marine Corps veteran. He will receive a special award at Butler's home opener, their football game versus Shaler on August the 26th. Tulare, a graduate of Clarion University, he rose to the rank of Major General in the Marines, and he was the officer in charge of logistics for the U.S. Pacific Fleet. All military, active and inactive, will also be honored that evening. I'm proud to say, and nothing to do with his success, I'm proud to say I was his position coach for 3 years. He was a scrawny little kid as a sophomore, 5'10", and maybe 140 pounds, kept coming back, ended up being a starter his senior year.
That is the part of athletics that people don't talk about, and enough. They constantly talk about wins and losses, and I'm talking about high school.
Yes.
And this kid's whole career may have started with you coaching him. He might just say, "I don't want to quit now." There's other things to go with sports.
Came back every day.
I'll bet you he would tell you that his athletics built that background for not giving in to raise to that rank in the Marines. Hey, thanks for your service, by the way.
His dad was a career Marine.
Absolutely.
His head coach at Butler, Art Bernardi, was a Marine.
Yeah, absolutely.
Achievements, North Catholic grad and tennis star Maddie Smithco. She won the Women's Golf Association of Western Pennsylvania Championship at Oakmont. Smithco is a 2-time PIAA gold medalist, and now she competes for Youngstown State University.
Youngstown State University has built up a really good golf program.
And she's part of it. Mm-hmm. And recruiting news, Mars star soccer player and senior to be Reese Dunaway. She is committed to St. John's University of New York. Her sister Gracie is a sophomore soccer player at Purdue. All you have to say is Dunaway's and Mars girls soccer, and you say WPL and state championships.
Absolutely.
And the state's number one rated defensive player, number 11 in the country, Tamir Robinson of Brashear. He's committed to Penn State, the 6'3", 225-pound linebacker. He had an ACL last October. Say he's fully recovered. Penn State, tremendous recruiting year, guys. They're number 3 behind Notre Dame and Ohio State.
And I want to see a Penn State and Notre Dame. Well, Notre Dame's done a little bit, but I want to see Penn State do what Ohio State's doing. I don't care about recruiting numbers.
I agree
I'm tired
with
of
you.
hearing numbers.
Yeah.
I want to see wins. So I want to tell him, sign a good quarterback. That might be your first choice.
And an offensive line.
Their
offensive
not
line
as good as
is
they used to
terrible.
be, right?
I checked on them again. I said to the guy, I said, well, they said they got guys coming in. I said, really, where? He goes, from the Ivy League.
For the offensive line.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Hey, by the way, Pitt, that's the guy Pitt has to get. He's in their backyard. That's what I'm talking
Right.
about. They get these guys, and they get plenty of good ones. You need the great one.
Yeah, and he is a great one.
Absolutely.
And this day and age, he had that ACL surgery. He's fully recovered. He's
today?
ready for this season. I think they play Butler this year. I don't know if they play
Brashear?
Brashear. I don't know if they play here or down in Pittsburgh.
My grandkids just asked me about injuries just yesterday. And I said, I'm telling you, in the old days, you might be out for 3 years. Today's world, with what they have them back the next year.
Years ago, it was a career killer.
Yes.
It was
And the
end of
other
it.
one was the Tommy John. Now they throw harder when they come back.
What was it? Jamison Tyon. He's had 2
He's one of
Tommy
them,
Johns.
yeah. Yep.
And he's what, 11-3 this year.
Yeah.
National Hockey League. He is back. Penn signed Geno Malkin to a 4-year, $24 million deal, $6.1 million per year. He's a 16-year veteran, so he's going to finish a 20-year career with the Pens, and they want him to go into the Hall of Fame as a Pens player. Chris Letang, who re-signed last week, so the core is back. Does the core have enough around them to make a run of the Cup?
I wouldn't have signed Malcolm, but they got him cheap, and so I didn't think they could get him for that money, and so it was worth signing him. I thought he demanded a lot more, so they got him cheap. So I don't mind him
I
coming
think
back.
he made $8 or $9 million last year.
Now he's down to what, 6 something?
Yeah, they got him cheap, and
So if he needs any help, we could pitch in.
We got
If he
to.
can't,
He said he's rich before he negotiated. He said I'm rich.
he is.
yes.
So
Yeah,
I mean,
yes.
you know, my thoughts in are completely opposite of everyone else's. How many times you lose in the first round before you break that thing up?
4 straight years. Hey, then they made some trades. They traded 25-year-old defenseman John Marino to New Jersey for a 22-year-old Ty Smith and a 2023 draft pick. Then they traded defenseman Mike Matheson for 34-year-old Jeff Petrie and a 23-year-old forward in Ryler Poling. And they re-signed Ricard Raquel.
Yeah, I know Matt, our producer, a big Penguin fan, wanted him to sign Raquel, and he's happy about that. The Petrie guy, I like that signing. I watched him play for Montreal. Every time I watch him, he plays really good hockey. I just think he got stuck on a bad team.
Yeah.
Yes.
He'll play much better when he gets with the Penguins.
Yeah.
Well, they want to get bigger and tougher and more physical, and they need to do that.
Absolutely.
Hey, Major League Baseball, the Pirates finish a 6-6 road trip at the All-Star break. They are 39-54. 69 games remain. I'm going to do an evaluation. You got me thinking last week about the hitting stuff. Let's start. Jack Sawinski, man, he nosedived 0 for 28 skid. They sent him down despite the fact he has 14 home runs. But Major League Baseball hitting in the Pirates. And last week, I charted 3 days of Major League Baseball games and looked for starting lineups like the Pirates with number of hitters under 200. So 19 teams had no players under 200. 30 teams had 1. 9 teams had 2 under 200. 4 teams with 3 players starting lineup under 200. The Pirates were one of them. And the only team with 4 starters hitting under 200, the Pirates, 3 different times starting lineup.
Yeah, well, it's a struggle hitting. The average for Major League Baseball is 242.
Yes.
Lowest
In
that I
years.
can remember.
In years.
And no one cares about it. So that we care on our show.
And
They don't care.
To me,
They
I don't
don't
care
care.
what they say.
They don't-
Hitting and RBIs count.
They don't care one bit
Now,
about
the
it.
Pirates do not have a single player who's on pace for 75 RBIs. That's hard for me to understand. 162 games. You don't have a single player on pace for 75 RBIs. What Reynolds has 32, Vogelbach 33, and Hayes 27. That's it.
I'll say this: Reynolds would be the only one that has a chance, and he's hurt because they play different guys every day.
Yeah.
They don't have a set lineup like that.
Yeah,
They play, so they don't get as many as bats as for example, if Judge is healthy, he's playing. Reynolds is the only guy, and Hayes.
Yeah.
Those are the only two guys that you know is going to be in the lineup every day. It could change every other position.
Now, let me say this. I like O'Neill Cruz. I think he's done terrific in the field, but he is really struggling at the plate. 204. He's been up 98 times. He struck out 38. He struck out 4 on Sunday. If you do that over the course of a season, 500 at bats?
150
he strikes out
yeah.
almost 200 times.
Yeah.
And once again, if the people that will talk, not like us,
Yeah.
he's almost averaging RBI a game.
Yeah.
So they'll say, I don't care how many times he strikes out.
I do. That's
I'm
a
saying,
concern to
well,
me.
no, we do.
Yeah.
But people in baseball don't care about that anymore.
Now, you worry about his confidence. You keep him up. You send him down.
No,
They
he's
stay
staying
down.
down.
No, I'm just saying.
Send him down. He gets an attitude when they move him back
in
four
the
steps.
lineup.
Watch. They put him in left field against the Yankees. They played 4 outfielders. Did you see the body language?
I did not
Wait till
see
they
that.
try to move him. They just did how many more shortstops? Wait till they try to move him.
Now their leading hitter is Reynolds. I'm going at leading a minimum 100 at bats. He's hitting 261. I mean, there were and I said this before. There were times I'd say Verdon's hitting 260, bench him. Maz is hitting 263. They got to have someone better. 261's the leading hitter on the team.
We could go on and on about it. They don't care. They don't care about batting average. We could talk about it on our show forever.
I'm going to talk because to me
They don't care.
how RBIs and hitting doesn't matter. I don't get it. Hey guys, the Pirates with the 4th pick, they get a shortstop, 18-year-old.
He'll be a second baseman.
Tamar out of Johnson out of Atlanta. They say he's the best prep hitter in the country. He said I should have been the number 1 pick. He batted .417, 9 home runs, 23 stolen bases.
I thought he was going to be the number 1 pick.
You thought he was going to be
Oh
the number
yeah,
1?
everything I read coming
Not
in.
for them, for whomever.
No,
For
I
someone
thought
else, yeah.
I thought Baltimore screwed up. They went by pedigree.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh got the best guy. Now I don't know how he's going to turn out, but I'm talking about.
If you're
scouting,
going by,
everybody's scouting reports.
Right.
They got the
said
best.
he's the best
yeah.
prep hitter in the
and,
country.
And the guy, no, he's the best, but not the best hitter. He is the best. Only guy has an 80, which is
Right.
the top. They say
They
power.
They didn't mention anything about his fielding.
But his fielding's
as a
only
shortstop.
average. So he's gonna play second
That's
base.
Second base.
They need someone to hit the ball anyway. Here's the other thing. With that, I look. No wonder guys make it from the 80th round and guys in the second don't. How they compare a 22-year-old man
Right.
to an 18-year-old boy.
Right.
I have no idea. You got a guy who's he's batting against high school pitching, and you're comparing him to a guy who's facing,
Calling.
Pac-10 or whatever. And I'm like, and no wonder they make so many mistakes. What is their criteria?
It's such a great disparity between like the NFL draft and Major League Baseball.
Yeah.
Leap years apart.
And Al mentions why they have the combine in there, just to try to even that out a little.
They try to see him in the summer.
Yeah.
Against the best players in the country.
Yeah.
But as you were a football guy and George and I are basketball guys, we see things you can tell a player. Baseball has so many analytics to the swing, so many things that things we don't talk about.
I'm going to borrow that. I'm going to borrow that word from my show.
They can see a
analytics.
kid swing at 18,
Yeah.
and say,
Yeah.
"Oh no, he's got the greatest swing." Where they can see things we don't know. They really are way more advanced.
Now the Seattle Mariners with the 21st pick, they take North Allegheny shortstop Cole Young. He didn't have the great year, 2 home runs, 19 RBIs. Actually, Clement and Butler had more home runs and more RBIs, and he pitched he was 5-1 as a pitcher and had 28 or 30 RBIs.
There's an example I just gave you.
Yeah.
The pro people who are
Yeah.
they would never draft him like that if they didn't see something. His
Yeah,
bat
I
speed,
saw him play.
You understand? They know something
Yeah.
about him that we don't. Because if you look by stats, you'd say, why are they taking this guy?
Exactly.
I saw his power. He hit a home run over the right center wall at Pullman Park. He's a very good shortstop. Can make all the plays, and he's going to be a rich teenager. I know that.
That he'll be.
Hey guys, this date. Let me ask you this. Let me back up. How much is enough? Washington Nats outfielder Juan Soto turns down a 15-year, $440 million deal. He's 23 years of age. He'll be a free agent after 2024. So far this year, he's batting .249 with 19 homers and 42 RBIs. $440 million he turned down. What's he want, George? $1 billion.
Yeah. He wants more.
The Yankees are going to give it to him.
These are 2 more years. It's not even close.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Yankees are going to give it to him.
But it's 3 years away.
They're going to trade him here now. They're
He
going to
could
trade
fall
him.
down the steps tomorrow.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you be saying sign that? Be nervous?
Absolutely.
$440 million.
I
It's
can't-
guaranteed.
My wife shakes her head. She don't know anything. She doesn't.
Well, tell her about this
she,
one.
She does, I did last night, and she said, "You made $40 million." I said, "No, $440 million."
No, it's like there's nothing to say. You look at something like that, and you no wonder the people. My buddy goes to the game. It's $150 for a ticket, $50 to park.
That's how they pay it.
That's how they pay it.
This date in Major League Baseball history, July 16th, 1897.
Bill Bourne?
Cap Anson, first Major League player to collect 3,000 hits. Bill was in third grade then.
Okay.
He was at the game.
He was
He
at
saw
the
the
game.
hit.
All right.
Hey, 1920. This tells you how good he was. Babe Ruth broke his own
boy.
season record of 29 homers. He hit his 30th on July 16th, 1920. He went on to hit 54 that year.
What's interesting about my boy the Babe, who's my favorite player ever, they don't count his pitching. I mean, they count his hitting years as when he pitched. He didn't hit. They gave him 3 years without hitting. I think, listen, that's the only way you can make his stats look not bad.
He is the all-time RBI leader. He's ahead of Hank Aaron. They will not give him credit for the 5 years he pitched, 1915 to 1919, and the RBIs he drove in. They won't count him. Now, you tell me why.
I don't know.
How do you not count those
He
RBIs?
knocked them in.
Are they on the book?
He knocked
Did,
them
did
in.
they
They're in the book.
cross home plate?
They're in the book.
Right.
And the
He
night,
happened to be the best pitcher when he pitched too.
tremendous. He held the World Series record
Yes.
for shutout innings
Yes.
till Whitey Ford broke it in the late 50s. Hey, Joe DiMaggio, 1941. This date he hit in his 56th straight game. Then he was stopped, and then he hit in another 21 straight.
Yeah.
So he hit in 77 out of 78 games. What would he make today?
They couldn't pay him enough.
Yeah, they couldn't pay.
They couldn't pay him enough.
Hey, the Pirates will have their inaugural Hall of Fame class on September the 3rd. This century, forget about it. I mean, I think it's pretty easy, right? Honus Wagner, Pie Trainer, Clemente, Kiner, Josh Gibson's going to be eligible, Willie Stargell, Murtaugh, the Wayner brothers.
There's some names right there.
That's
some
just to
names.
name a few. Hey, guys, I want to finish with this. In college football, Nick Saban says the transfer portal, NIL, has destroyed the competitive balance. Don't laugh at once. It's not a level playing field. The guardrails are down. You read between the lines. What's he saying?
Need more money.
We need more money. Alabama can't compete with Texas.
Yesterday at the
They will be.
Hey,
Somebody,
Southeastern
they
called
will
us. The
be.
guy's getting an interview. Guy goes, "Are they Gucci shoes?"
Yeah.
Kid goes, "Yeah, you got it. NIL's good." He said, last night Texas Tech gave 85 players $25,000 apiece.
Yeah, we
Yes.
can't grasp this.
It's
You talk about past our pay grade.
Yeah, it's not that.
Do you understand? This is so past anything
Well,
we can think of.
Nick's worried
Oh,
about
my.
it. Nick's worried.
Nick's real worried.
And-
That's
No, he's
because-
worried about A&M and Texas coming in. That's what he's
He'll
worried
get the
about.
money. He'll get the money.
Brian Kelly said this. He said there's going to be an elite power conference, and the rest of the teams have to find their comfort level. I don't know what he means.
No.
It doesn't sound
That
good
means they're
anyway.
dropping out.
Yes. Hey, that's it for us. We've run out of time. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next week.